Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Heroes Show. You got Cory and Nick with you here as always. And in today's video, we're getting the hype train rolling for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings by traveling back in time to 2014 to talk about this All Hail the King Marvel one-shot that was very sneakily uploaded to Disney Plus earlier this week. Nick, how are you, sir?
Doing well. It's Friday.
It's Friday. We have no Bad Batch to review, which is sad. We had like 4 months full of Bad Batch, which was tremendous. And now we're just, it's like when you put bricks up on the wall and you got to get the mortar in between all the bricks.
That's what we're doing.
We're trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about stuff from 2014, but we're talking about it for a very important reason.
Yes.
So Iron Man 3 came out. And you know, the Iron Man movies have had the Ten Rings organization kind of looming in the background ever since the original one back in 2008. So Tony Stark ends up in a cave where he builds a suit with a box of scraps, as what Obadiah Stane says later on in the film. He's essentially kidnapped by a cell of the Ten Rings. You see their iconography all over the beginning of that film. There's all these teases that we're going to see something Ten Rings related during the Iron Man trilogy. We get to Iron Man 3. Ben Kingsley shows up as the Mandarin, and it's these horrifying, like literally scary, like terrorism style vignettes about, you know, you're never going to see me coming. We're going to destroy this. We're going to blow this up. All like really highly well produced stuff. And then it turns out later in the film to just be like a drunk actor that was working on behalf of Guy Pearce's character, Aldrich Killian, who calls himself the Mandarin, even though he isn't the Mandarin. And that caught a lot of shit from people back in the day. Like a lot of people didn't like Iron Man 3 specifically because of that plot twist, right? So Marvel did a series of one-shots back in the day. This was the fifth and final one that they had done. And I think it was kind of their attempt to be like, hey guys, we're sorry. We know y'all didn't really care for that twist. We're going to try to make it up to you the best we can. But the problem was they released it digitally, which means that it didn't have a big audience because it wasn't in a theater or on TV. They didn't have Disney Plus back in the day. It was also released on the home media release of Thor: The Dark World, which
no one saw.
For those playing along, not the most popular Marvel movie. Probably didn't have the best Blu-ray sales back in February of 2014 when it was released. So, however, fast forward to 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is out this weekend. Obviously, if you've seen any of the trailers or if you've seen the film already, because this is coming out on Friday and it did come out last night, the Ten Rings, it's in the title of the movie. It's kind of a thing, and it's a big deal. And Tony Leung's character is the Mandarin, so relatively important that we're talking about this sort of thing. So we wanted to break down this little special because we both watched it and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Very much.
So we want to talk about the short itself, the context that it brings to Shang-Chi. Nick's already seen the movie, so we can talk at the end a little bit about if and how this will connect to what you see in the new film. But Nick, what did you think of this nice little tight 13-14 minute piece of film?
I thought it was great. You know, just speaking to the acting and the presence of Sir Ben Kingsley and just him portraying this role, because you know, we saw it in Iron Man 3, but it wasn't solely focused on him, and just to sort of see how he ends up being a fraud and how his fraud character continues in this little short, and just seeing where he is, because you know the gap in between the Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi, the way he shows up in the movie, I'm like, what?
Right, and that's not a spoiler.
How?
He's on the cast list.
Yeah,
he was at the world premiere. That is not a spoiler. Don't comment below. Don't dislike the video.
Yeah, he's
comment below, but not about that because it is not a spoiler. He's in the movie. Okay, it was like in pictures and stuff on the internet all over the place. If you're watching this show, chances are you probably knew he's in the film already. So get over it. subscribe.
Get over it. Yeah. So it was, it'd be the fact that this came out and this was actually released to the masses through Disney Plus was great. Was great. That I enjoyed the fact that this happened, even though it was 7 years ago. I'm like, where's this been?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have seen this and having been able to reference this in years past, but and wondering and talking about how it would play into the future, right? Like knowing, yeah, sure, the Ten Rings are involved, but to what extent? And surmising that we'll eventually get the real Mandarin, which obviously now we do, and but how he commands all authority in jail, right? Like he is the king in jail, and they they want to hear him say it, recite the lines, and like I just can't turn it on, sort
and then he
of
does
thing.
like 12
and he does
seconds later.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of those things where if people ask me to do like Gollum or Smeagol, I'm like, they'll do it later, and then I'm like, I'll do it in 5 seconds. It's fine, it's just there. But the one guy who messes up, right, and then just gets the entire jail behind him, he's like, that's right, like But I think one of the funniest things at the end was we get some post-credit scenes, which was
a
phenomenal.
13-minute short has a post-credit scene. Wonderful.
Yeah, and it's none other than Mr. Hammer himself.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell shows up
with
Justin Hammer
with his jail boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I think he mentioned something about like the success that he's having in here. He's a fraud, but then it's like, I know Tony Stark and I were like this, we were like at the top.
We see eye to eye on things.
Yeah. So, and I'm wondering, I wonder if we'll ever see Justin Hammer and AIM again in the MCU.
I think that's 100%.
I think you have to, and again, like I would love to see MODOK. I know you and I talked about this off screen prior to this. I think MODOK would be a great villain to have, for the next set of heroes that team up. Not necessarily an Avengers come together moment, but maybe something that involves Ironheart, maybe Rhodey, and maybe who knows, like Captain America. And with Sam involved, maybe Bucky comes in there. Like I think it would warrant some sort of scientific involvement, right? So maybe Bruce shows up as well,
or the Wakandans.
So, someone from Wakanda, Shuri, maybe. Again, just more potential that this supposedly happened years ago, but. To where this all leads now, especially with the guy who turns his camcorder into a little mini handgun, a little pistol, and just mops everyone up, and he kills his butler.
Yep, he kills the butler. And the thing I love about that is they got Scoot McNairy to come in and play that part, and like Scoots is not like a low name actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is a fantastic TV show. He was the guy who wheelchair bombed the government building in *Batman vs Superman*. He's been all over the place. You've probably seen him before. Before this, though, he was not a character in the Marvel universe. And they get him in for a 13-minute short film, and his character is what explains to the audience that the Ten Rings are not affiliated with Trevor Slattery in any way, shape, or form. And they're actually relatively upset with the fact that him and Aldrich Killian went and did what they did. They even mentioned that the guy on top is not a fan of what they did.
Kind of mad.
Right. So he poses as a a documentarian. He's got a camcorder and a tripod and all this. And as Nick said, his camcorder has some tech built into it that turns into a small pistol. One leg of his tripod turns into like a police baton.
Yeah.
So he can cause some damage. But then the key shot in the entire short is when Scoot's character is holding the gun, his sleeves are rolled up, and he's got a 10 rings tattoo right on the inside of his forearm. And it shows the audience that didn't see this thing, because nobody saw this thing apparently. The fake out in Iron Man 3 had consequences. The 10 rings are real. They're not to be meddled with. The guy at the top is a total badass. And that sets up a lot of what we're going to see in the Shang-Chi movie, which is fantastic. And it's really cool, like you said, that something from 7 years ago can have an impact on stuff now. You know, we're seeing stuff like in the trailer for Shang-Chi, Abomination is there. We haven't seen Abomination since 2008. You know, Justin Hammer could show up in something like Armor Wars. We have not seen Justin Hammer since this short, which came out in 2014. And then Iron Man 2 before that, which I think was like 2010 or 2011 or something like that. So, you know, the possibility for these characters to come back and stir some shit up, you know, even as far as like a Captain Carter live action appearance in Doctor Strange 2 is rumored and on the cards. So you can't discount this older Marvel stuff. Feige doesn't forget. That should be like a catchphrase for Marvel Studios. They have some good stuff from the past that we haven't explored yet, and it looks like we're gonna get the chance to kind of dive into it head first, which is pretty awesome. So without spoiling too much, you've seen the movie already. Give me like a wink nudge that the reason Disney put this on Disney Plus is because it explains a good deal going into this new movie.
It does.
Great. Wonderful.
Yeah, it does.
Say no more.
That's all I'm gonna say.
We're not trying to spoil this movie for anybody.
I'm not gonna mention anything else about it.
So, we will have a spoiler review up this weekend though, after we've both seen the film.
Full spoils.
Very excited to talk about that. But
I know, Sam. Been holding my breath like 2 weeks.
I know, man. You got lucky. It was literally the day before my vacation that you got to go to that screening, and like I would have been there.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that I had a flight at 5 a.m. the next day. But so really excited to dive into Shang-Chi. Really excited to see how it connects to the past of the MCU and makes you care about all these new characters. Should be really fun. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Want to keep it short, but definitely go check this short out on Disney Plus.
Highly recommended.
If you're watching this channel, you have a Disney Plus subscription because you've watched the Loki videos and the WandaVision stuff and Falcon Winter Soldier. Just go into Marvel. It's called All Hail the King. It's your 15-minute break at work will cover you. I promise you'll enjoy it. It'll be very cool. Love for you guys to drop us a comment below. Let us know if you've seen this. Let us know if you saw it back in 2014. Don't lie. Be honest. We didn't. We saw it this week. So
7 years late.
Yeah. Just let us know what you thought. We love to see those comments and to respond to them and build some community here. If you haven't already, please go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and share the video with your friends. As I mentioned, we're gonna have the spoiler review of Shang-Chi. We're gonna have a Ted Lasso review on Monday, DC Titans review on Tuesday, Marvel What If on Wednesday. The hits just keep on coming. So make sure to stay tuned for all of those things and so much more. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.